Hi, it's Hannes, and welcome to another Wealth Insights training. Now, in this training, I want to share with you what I believe to be the greatest financial secret in the world. If you want to become rich, if you want to become successful financially, then you need to know this. Unfortunately, you're going to find that very, very few people actually know about the secret. And the reason why this is a secret is because the financial institutions do not want you to understand and to know this, because they want to keep this information to themselves and make it as difficult as possible for you to really succeed. Now, why on earth do I want to share this with you? Because of what you're about to learn, the secret. I was financially free at the age of 37. I made the discovery that I'm going to share with you just now at the age of 30. So it took me just 7 years. And with the insights and the knowledge that I've got today, I think that anyone can do it within a 7-year period. In fact, a lot less than 7 years, because I had still to figure out a lot of other stuff in the same time in order to get to that financial freedom. Now, why on earth do I place such a high value on financial freedom? First of all, I'm 58. In other words, for the last 21 years, we were in a position where we could do what we want to do, when we want to do it, how we want to do it, where we want to do it, without worrying about money. And one of the things that I've discovered over the last 14 years is that, to be able to share this information with people is an incredible honor and an incredible blessing. And I want you, as soon as you get the secret, to start sharing this with as many people as possible so that we can help each other to become and to live the life of abundance that we're supposed to live. So what is this secret? It's this: your IGR must be bigger than your FFGR. That's it. Your IGR must be bigger than your FFGR. That's all. Now, what on earth do I mean with this? IGR stands for your investment growth rate. And your investment growth rate, wherever you invest, it can be in shares, it can be in business, it can be in property, it can be in unit trust, fixed deposits, mutual funds if you're overseas, superannuation if you're in Australia, retirement annuity, a fixed deposit, any investment that you make, you need to determine what is the growth rate on that investment. And then that must be greater than your FFGR. And the FFGR simply stands for Financial Freedom Growth Rate. So the moment that we know what our Financial Freedom Growth Rate is, we can for the first time compare that to see if this that we invest in, wherever we invest in, if this investment is going to help us to become financially free or not. And a little bit later on, I'm going to take you through a practical example and show you how simple this actually is. You see, in life, you've got only two choices. Either you can work for your money, or you can learn how to let your money work for you. Now, I'm saying that you have to learn how to let your money work for you. And the reason why I say this is very simple. You see, I've never met a person in my life that were born with business skills or investment skills or gifts or trades. It is something that we all need to learn. It's not in the interest of the system to teach you how to invest your money yourself, because then they've got a massive problem. Now, according to me, and I may be totally wrong, the problem that we're in was caused by the financial institutions, because they've got the solution to the problems that they've created. And they've structured these solutions to such an extent that we will think that is going to work. But in real life, it is not working. And I think by now you've experienced that and you know what I mean, because you can see that you do what you're supposed to do, but you're not really getting anywhere. And it's simply because we've never learned how to let our money work for us by taking the responsibility in order to do that. Now, I don't know about you, but I've started with absolutely nothing. The first thing that I did was to find myself a job. I joined the police force many years ago. And my salary at that stage was 186 Rands per month. But at the end of the month, there was a small portion left. I call that a surplus. And I knew that the only way that I would become financially free was to let this money work for me. Now, unfortunately, in the beginning, I didn't understand this. And I thought that I should give this money to someone else and that they are going to make me rich. So you've got two choices if you've got a surplus. The first choice is simply to say, okay, I'm going to give it to an expert and hope that they're going to make me rich. And the second one is to learn how to make it work for yourself. Financial freedom means to have a life of abundance financially. That means that to a lot of people, they want a nice house. And if you're financially free, you'll have the nice house. Or you'd like to drive nice cars. We've got nice cars. Or whatever passion you may have, like flying helicopters. You'll be in a position to be able to buy those turbine helicopters so that you can fly with that. Or if your wife, if it's her birthday and she wants a farm, then you can buy a game farm. That is what I mean with financial freedom. In other words, it's to have a life of abundance. And that is the reason why we invest, is to get to a position where we can do those things that we really and truly want to do. Unfortunately, we're going to find, if we look at stats, that very, very few people in the world, South Africa and the rest of the world, will be able to get that right. According to Bankserv SA, South Africa, less than 0.24% of the total population, those people that are over the age of 60, has got a pension at the moment or a passive income of more than 24,000 Rand per month. This simply means that 99.76% of the total population will not be able to experience financial freedom. And the main reason why that will happen is simply because they do not and they've never learned how to let their money work for them. Now, how do you know what growth rate is? You must be able to measure it. And I'd like to give you a tip. And the tip is simply this. It is the growth on your investment that is going to make you rich, or that's going to help you to become financially free, or that's going to put you in a position to be financially free a lot earlier than most other people. So it's the growth on your investment. I've been conditioned as a financial planner many, many years ago to believe that you must have money to make money. But I've started with absolutely nothing. And most people that I know actually started with very, very little. So our job is to learn how to take that little bit that we've got and keep on growing that at a rate that is higher than our financial freedom growth rate. And the moment that you do that, you will become financially free within the time frame that you've set yourself. But there's something more important than this, and that is that the moment that you know how to get a 50 and an 80 and a 200% growth on your investment, it simply means that you've got the skill, that you've got the competency, that you know how to do it. And all you have to do, even if you start with a very, very small base, you keep on growing and keep on doing what you're doing in order to outperform your financial freedom growth rate. So the trick is to be able to measure the growth on your investments. So let's make it very practical, and I'm going to go to Excel spreadsheet. But first, let's set ourselves a goal. Let's assume that in 10 years' time from now on, I want 10 million Rand. The problem is I do not have a lot of money currently. But let's assume that I can put aside as a surplus 1,000 Rand per month. So how hard must my money work for me? In other words, what is the growth rate that I must get? And to do that, I need to go to Excel. Now, if we go to Excel and we put in the variables, 1,000 Rand over 10 years to get to 10 million, then we can see that we need to get a growth rate of 64.58. In other words, our 1,000 Rand plus the accumulated growth must grow at 64.58%. So how on earth do I get to that in Excel? Very simple. You go to that little FX icon. You press that. It opens up this portion here. And it tells you exactly what you need to do. So that is how I got to that percentage. And that is your financial freedom growth rate. In other words, that is how hard your money must work for you if you want to get to the 10 million. Now, let's assume that you've got a paper assets, and let's make it unit trust or mutual funds. And let's assume that you're getting 25%. Now, I think the chances that you'll get to 25% average over 10 years will be almost impossible, at least here in South Africa. But let's assume that you do get that. Then that 25% is your investment growth rate. So if we look at this, your investment growth rate at 25% is going to give you 521,931. You need 10 million. That simply means that you can see that this investment that you've got at the moment is not going to help you to become financially free. It's really that simple. But there's something else that I want you to make you attend of. And that is the risk, because I see very few people actually understand risk. So when we look at the risk, the 1,000 Rand per month, that to me is not a risk because you've got it. It's a surplus. The problem is when this plan matures in 10 years' time, the one person will have 10 million if they could invest their money at 64%, and the other person will have 521,000 if they invested their money at 25%. So the real risk, we will not see today. We will only see it in 10 years' time. And the difference between the two is 9.5 million Rand, which is a lot of money. Simply with the one, I gave my responsibility away and someone else took that responsibility to invest. And the second option was I took the responsibility to learn how to do this myself. There's perhaps another way to look at risk. When I started off, I had very, very little money to invest. So if your goal is to get to 10 million and you know how to get 64%, then all you have to do is to invest 1,000 Rand per month. But what if you do not know how to get to 64% and you can only get 15% by giving your money away to someone else? This simply means that you need to invest 37,334, let's make it 35 Rand per month. So your risk for the next 10 years, in order to get to the same goal, the same outcome, than the person that knows how to invest 1,000 Rand at 64, will be 36,335 Rand per month. And that to me is a lot of money. So it's for that reason that I'm saying to you, please understand this and please learn how to get this growth yourself. The question that I'm getting then is, yeah, honest, that is easy. We know how to do that calculation. That's not difficult. But where and how do you get to 64 and 80% and stuff like that? Well, there's only one investment that you can make in your life, just one, that will give you that. And that is to invest in yourself. In other words, to understand how it works. And once you prepare to take the responsibility and to invest in yourself, there's only two outcomes, two places where you can put your money that will constantly give you more than your financial freedom growth rate if you've got the skills, the competency. And that is, first of all, property, and secondly, your own business. There's absolutely no other investment that I know of, unless it is a gamble or unless it is illegal, that's going to give you that kind of growth over a 10-year term constantly. So let me show you in real life how simple it actually is to get to this kind of growth if you've got the right system like the Property Pro investment system. If we go to the Property Pro program, I'm going to take this specific property just to illustrate something to you, right? And we click on the assessment. Then we can see that over a 5-year term, the growth on this investment will be 54.89%, right? So my money is working at 54.89%. This is what it means. Now, if I'm going to close this and I compare it to other properties, so there's this property that I've just talked about, the 54.89%, and the goal that we've got is we need to get a growth rate of more than 65%. So in the Property Pro system, all the properties that you've evaluated will show in this column over here, year 5, the different growth rates. And when we compare those, we'll see that the first property, that 80.49 is greater than 65. So that's a property that I can invest in. This next one is 173.88. The infinite stands for, this is actually a free property. In other words, the growth is so high that you cannot calculate it, which means it's most of the time a very, very nice property to have. And by the way, what you see here are examples that I'm using for my students. This is, of course, not my own portfolio. And all of my properties are these infinite type of properties. The next one is 150.02% infinite, and then 105.15%. So how on earth do you get that? Well, one of the things that I would do is to learn more about it. And it's for this reason that I would like you to come and join one of my Property The Road to Riches live seminars. And during that live seminar, I'm going to take you through the process. I think that is going to give a lot of clarity when you see how simple it is. And I'm going to take one or two practical examples to show you from the audience how quickly it is to be able to evaluate any property, any kind of property, any type of property anywhere in the world. It takes me less than 5 minutes to evaluate any property anywhere in the world to calculate the growth. And if that growth is higher than my financial freedom growth rate, I know this is the right thing to do. If it's not, I know let that be. There's something else that I'm going to share with you during that seminar, and that is I'd like to show you how SARS, can help you. The taxman can help you. And I'm going to show you an example where in this example, because of SARS, you can improve your growth rate from 54% to 112%. And at the same time, during the same process, SARS will subsidize you or give you a better cash flow of more than 11,200 Rand per month. Now, that is huge. And this is where this information comes in. And this is the reason why you have to invest in yourself, so that you know how to do it yourself. Also, what I'd like you to do is to come and collect during the seminar. After the seminar, I'm going to give you access to the Financial Freedom Planner course. And in this Financial Freedom Planner course, we're going to dive into this financial freedom growth rate, how to calculate it, and how to do your own financial freedom planner with the spreadsheets and everything that goes with it. Now, we normally sell this for 1,750 Rand. But if you're at the seminar, this will be yours for free. So, as always, comment, challenge, and give me your questions in the comment box below. And of course, if you think that this can help your friends or your family, please send this link or this video to them, or share this with them. Now, in order to book your seat for the seminar, you'll find a little button below. Simply click that and go ahead, or go to seminars.hannesdreyer.com. So the lesson for today was simply this. You must make sure, by taking responsibility and learn how to let your investment growth rate be bigger than your financial freedom growth rate. And if you know how to do that, and there's only two ways, that is through business or through your property investments. The moment that you know how to do that, you will have a life of total and absolute abundance. So, welcome to the journey. Calculate your own financial freedom growth rate and start with the process.